Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, we're not getting that here until the 18th of August, so I can't even get hold of a screener at the moment. I've been looking up and down, left and right, nothing at all. So I'm been left with no choice but to watch the first two live action G.I. Joe movies, which I will be reviewing separately, but we're going to start with G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra from 2009. I've got to say, one of the things they got almost right here was the casting. Actually, for the most part, the casting is pretty spot on. Channing Tatum, well, he was actually becoming a rising star. He's pretty cool. Then you got Marlon Wayans as Ripcord. He's kind of like Marlon Wayans being Marlon Wayans. What else are you going to expect from that comedy clan of talented brothers? Sienna Miller as the Baroness. And then, of course, you got Scarlett, played by Rachel Nichols. I'll be focusing my review more on Rachel Nichols in a while. You'll understand why I'm talking about this. It's pretty amazing, actually. And last but not least, well, we've got Jonathan Pryce as the President. He's pretty passable. Christopher Eccleston, my favorite Doctor Who. And, of course, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I will talk about later on. Now, I watched G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra a few days ago on Netflix, so don't forget to give that the big thumbs up after you finished watching it. But yeah, I've got to say, man, this film, directed by Stephen Sommers. Now, he's the director behind the first and best Mummy film. Unfortunately, he then went on to direct Van Helsing much later on, and the less said about that, the better. But really, his stint on G.I. Joe, he helped to set up quite a few world-building elements which I didn't realize existed until I saw this film. So the basic story ready. These terrorists have got their hands on nanomites which can melt metal all around the world, and in one really hilarious sequence, the Eiffel Tower gets eviscerated in one fell swoop and the GIs couldn't stop it. That made me laugh a lot.
Congratulations, Duke. You just saved Paris. Or at least most of it.
Now I do like Adewale Adebayo, you know him as Mr. Echo from season 2 of Lost, and he plays Bricktop, a real proper Bricktop Brit who's all muscled up, and he takes Wayans and Tatum through their accelerator suit training. Now these accelerator suits, they're pretty badass. They're kind of like enhancers, so they can give the Joes certain abilities like leaping buildings in a single bound, dodging bullets. You've seen this in the trailer, so you know exactly what I am talking about. I do, funny enough, prefer these accelerator suits to the exoskeleton suits that Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt wore for Edge of Tomorrow, or by its better known title, All You Need Is Kill. Now, the reason why I really want to talk about Rise of Cobra, Rachel Nichols. Now, when I first saw Miss Nichols on TV, it was in a short-lived 20th Century Fox TV series called The Inside, where she played Rebecca Locke, an FBI agent who just goes undercover. But what was really amazing about that TV show, yes, it lasted 13 episodes, but it certainly put Miss Nichols on the map. And also, what's more significant, it was produced by Catherine Bigelow. If you know your action female directors, and there aren't many of them out there, she's the woman responsible for Point Break, Near Dark, and of course the awesome Hurt Locker with Jeremy Renner, for which he got an Oscar nomination. Now, the reason why I point this particular fact out, when the MCU started in 2008, you would have thought at that point Kevin Feige and the gang would be future-proofing the rest of their IP roster. So obviously who's going to play Thor? More importantly, who's going to play Black Widow? Now, we do know the story that Emily Blunt was kind of like the very big contender to get the role, but then she was contractually tied to Gulliver's Travels, so couldn't get out of that. And in came Scarlett Johansson like a bat out of hell to take over that role. But I will say one thing about Miss Johansson, I don't mind her in the role of Black Widow. But the first thing is, you cannot call Miss Johansson a action star. She's not. She's a dramatic actress who just happens to do action on the side. And I felt this is kind of demonstrated in Iron Man 2, because the way Jon Favreau had to direct her scenes was to make her look like a bona fide action star. She is not. You need someone like Michelle Yeoh or Gina Carano, who are actually action women anyway by their very essence, and they can do the dramatic stuff as well when they can. So for me, when people say that Scarlett Jo is an action star, she's not. She's a dramatic actress first and foremost. But the reason why I do bring this up, because there is a fantastic fight sequence between Sienna Miller and Rachel Nichols. It is awesome. They're really going at it, just smashing shades out of each other. It's wonderful. In fact, in a recent interview that I saw, and actually when I say a recent interview, this was back in 2009, Miller said that she had like 6 months extensive training, whereas Nichols didn't have any at all. I also do recall that Sienna Miller had a bit of a girl crush on Miss Nichols, and frankly, I can't blame her. So that fight sequence alone is something else. But then to top it all off, there are sequences in this film where Rachel Nichols is walking around in different outfits, and I kept saying to myself, that looks like Black Widow. Why didn't someone at Marvel see this film and cast Rachel Nichols as Natasha Romanoff? She's perfect. She's tall, she's a redhead, she's beautiful, she kicks ass. She actually does handle action and dramatics really, really well. And it just blows my mind that no one at Marvel saw this woman's potential. It is such a waste. But then, I will say no more. If I had a time machine, I could turn it all the way back to 2008 and just warn Kevin Feige he must cast Rachel Nichols in any future MCU films. It would have been a different story, I feel. Anyway, now Ray Park, you know him, he's the Scotsman, he's an actor, author, and stuntman. You know him as Darth Maul. He made that stunning debut, awesome, complete, and I do believe George Lucas owes me money because I was the inspiration for that dude's hairstyle. I kid you not. When I worked at the front door at Planet Hollywood, George Lucas came in one day and nobody knew who he was except me, and when George saw my red spiky hair, I think he had a big grin on his face, and this is before The Phantom Menace actually came out. So George, if you're watching this video, mate, where are my royalties, buddy? I need them, and I need them right now. But honestly, Ray Park as Snake Eyes, he does kick all kinds of ass in his film, especially with Storm Shadow. Really, really good. Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, one of my favorite actors ever since I laid eyes on him in Third Rock from the Sun, and then later on in 10 Things I Hate About You. He's obviously gone on to do really great things. But honestly, if I ever met the dude, I'll be talking to him about this particular role because honestly, he gets the best, cheesiest moment in the entire film.
The time has come for the Cobra to rise up and reveal himself. You will call me Commander.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about, people. Unadulterated, pure cinematic gold. My only disappointment is that we never got to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt up against the Joes. That would have been a great climactic showdown, but hey, we were robbed and we didn't even get him in the sequel. Damn it. And there's a scene towards the end of this film where the G.I. Joes are walking towards the camera. It's a really beautiful wide shot. Dennis Quaid is smack bang in the middle. And we had that jaw-dropping moment in 2012 in the Avengers where the team finally assembled. But honestly, if G.I. Joe was as big an IP as Marvel, I mean, this could have been a game-changing moment for me because honestly, that is just a money shot. Just the team walking towards you, like they're about to go on the next mission. I mean, you can get a 4K wallpaper download of this. This would be such an awesome looking display on your 4K monitor or whatever, seriously. But when I saw that, I thought, wow, there was some serious world building going on in this film. But like I said, if G.I. Joe by Hasbro was a much more bigger property, who knows, we could have had probably two rival universes. So, while Marvel can kind of take credit for some things it's established with this MCU, I do feel that Rise of Cobra was kind of there already, but just doing it in a way that didn't infringe upon the MCU. And honestly, if you haven't seen the Rise of Cobra, give it a watch. Have a look at the sequel, Retaliation, because I will be doing a review of that. And it's not because of Adrian Padalecki as Lady J, because good God, I mean, that is one reason. But then there is another reason that's also connected to the MCU with that film, and I'll tell you about it when I do get to review of it. So guys and ladies and kids, whatever, whoever my target audience is, cats and dogs and mice, whatever, if you enjoyed this review today, and of course, before I do leave, I will give G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra my super hot dog rating. I will give it a 3 out of 5 hot dogs. I think that is fair to say. And at the end of the day, both G.I. Joe films didn't make almost the same amounts of money at the box office. So to say that one is better than the other is probably an invalid argument. They're both enjoyable films in their own right, and you should go and watch them. Like I said before, the first film, Rise of Cobra, is on Netflix right now. So make sure you get there and watch it. If you have a subscription to Netflix already, I'm going to use my VPN to try and watch Retaliation version in another country's version of Netflix, because I really want to check that film out again. And on that one, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll catch you on my next video.
Like and subscribe, or get your nuts Krogan crushed.